Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call order the Board of Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, July 17, 2024. Would everybody please rise? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, item 3, we're going to move right into the proclamation for Aston Valley Baseball League Giants Majors Division 2024 champions. Again, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins, and welcome, Giants and family of the Giants. So this is a fun thing to do. We've been doing this now this is a 4th year, recognizing the Major League champs over at Aston Valley. So that is 11 and 12-year-olds typically, just for folks that aren't familiar with the league. So this is the kind of last year before you step up, if you're a 12-year-old, to the big full-size Major League field last year at Weir Park in terms of the highest level down there. So, as a Board of Commissioners in the Township, we thought it was important to recognize the teams like that. We've had, not in this room, but at New Road, pictures of past all-star team champs from Aston Valley and Aston Middletown. We got a lot of kids in the community to participate in this and think it's a big deal. And want to recognize you guys and for the work you do and kind of use that as also thank you to everybody that does the work down at Weir Park and Aston Valley, and frankly in all the different leagues, to be supportive and help out the kids that live in Aston. So I'm going to read a proclamation here. It's going to summarize a little bit of the season, and then we're going to recognize the team, both the guys that are here and some of the other guys that couldn't make it tonight. So this is a Township of Aston proclamation. Whereas the Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desires to honor the Aston Valley Little League Major Giants team for their 2024 spring season championship win, and whereas the 2024 Giants came into the season with pitching depth which could carry them through the seasons, along a strong batting line. It sounds a lot like the Philadelphia Phillies here, guys. The Giants finished the season winning their last 3 games to squeak out the regular season in first place. And whereas, after the Giants had a first-round bye in the playoffs, the Giants found themselves in a tight game with the Braves. It wasn't until the 4th or 5th inning to gain a little separation so they could capture the win. And whereas the Giants were now moving into the semifinal game, they were able to capitalize on a few errors, hits, and smart base running, which led to a victory over the Blue Jays. And whereas the Blue Jays weren't down and out just yet, they were able to win their next game and meet up with the Giants again to square off in the championship game. It was a tight game. The Blue Jays held the lead 3-2 entering the last inning. The Giants' bats were cold, but they were able to get a leadoff hit to get a little momentum going. Following the leadoff hit, there was a solid at bat and 2 walks. The Giants had the bases loaded and only 1 out. The third batter came to the plate and drove in a run to tie the game. So pretty exciting night, guys. You guys going crazy? Were the fans going crazy? Very cool. The cleanup hitter was now coming to the plate. A wild pitch from the Blue Jays drove in the runner from third to steal home and win the game. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Aston Township Board of Commissioners recognizes the Aston Valley Little League Giants Major Division champs, duly proclaimed the 17th day of July 2024. So with that, let me read off the lineup, and then we'll give a congratulations to the full team. And by the way, last year, we have the Olympics coming up, so I have to give a special thanks because I remember last year the Expos won from Montreal. So way to bring the title back to the United States, guys. So the 2024 Giants roster: Coach Tom Woods. Tom, come on up here.
All right, Tom.
All right, and leading off, Dean Combs. Right next, Mason Fredericks. Next, Kevin Grimes. Caden Hines. Bryson Hodgson. Steve Krause. Jason Rye. Liam Minikanji. Carter Ocasio. Alex Royer. And Gage Wood. All right, let's hear it for the Giants. tribute, all right? Congratulations, boys. All right, we'll take a picture. Slide down. So you can see why Tom's the championship coach. Look how quickly they follow the right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You're fine. You don't.
Is number 12 the cleanup hitter? New cleanup hitter? Number 4 batter? Is he?
Okay.
Who's the cleanup hitter? Congratulations.
I thought they were going to all raise their hands.
Congratulations, guys.
Who's still home?
Gage.
Gage did?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was awesome. Thank
Okay. Moving on to number 5, committee reports. Number 4, review and approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of June 19, 2024.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 19, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay. Ayes have it. Okay, now number 5, committee reports. Mr. Tinsley.
Thank you. For the permits and license report, the beginning balance was $344,418. The total income from building permits and contractor licenses was $16,511. Total electrical was $2,874, and the total plumbing and heating was $4,108. The total revenue collected for the month was $34,153. To summarize the total for 2024, it totals $378,571. And comparable in June 2023, it was $256,676. That's the end of this report.
Thank you. Commissioner Lester Curry.
Thank you, Commissioner Hagan. This is the police report. These incidents occurred in June of 2024. Incidents handled were 498, accident investigations 32, criminal investigations 25, criminal cases cleared 13. Clearance rate for Part 1 crimes was 56%, clearance rate for Part 2 was 44%. And to the license plate readers. Panel and Dutton Mill over $1 million. Panel and Concord over $1 million. Panel and Dutton Mill 772,000 plus. Concord and Dutton Mill 754 plus. Concord and Aston Mills was 555,000 plus. And Concord and Bridgewater was 570,000 plus. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Prendergast.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. I have the Public Works Director's Activity Report for June. It's very short this time. It's only like 2 minutes. Our Highway Department installed the wood metal roof over the amphitheater. Our Highway Department picked up 6,320 pounds, total $498. Our Sanitation Department picked up 52 tons of recycling and 491 tons of residential waste. The next metal and appliance week is August 5th to August 9th. For September is September 9th to September 13th. Any questions or complaints, please contact Russ Palmore, Director of Public Works, at 610-494-8005. That's the end of my reports.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Doherty.
I have the Treasurer's Report for June of 2024. Operating cash in the general fund as of June 30th, $3,665,925. Other funds include the TD Bank ARF fund account with a balance of $692,236, the Pliget account with a balance of $9,770,075, the TD Bank Capital Checking account with a balance of $4,049,559. The total cash balance for the township as of June 30th, 2024 was $24,720,144, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. Two reports tonight. The first one on the Aston Township Fire Department report, and just an update. Fire and EMS calls, if you look at it year to date, we've had 446 fire calls responded to and 1,366 EMS calls for a total of 1,812, including 21 drills year to date. Average response time, which I usually share as well, EMS dispatched to on scene 7 minutes and 6 seconds, and average fire dispatched to on scene 7 minutes and 27 seconds. Secondly, just an update in terms of new building and construction. As anybody that's gone down Concord Road, you can see, we are progressing on that path, and just at the start, but hopefully we continue to be on track. Tonight in new business, there is a motion to approve additional services provided by Bernardin. They're the architect on the project. Just as a reminder, this is essentially for kind of clerk of the work services. So in a big project like this, making sure that we have with the general contractor, somebody that's checking in, working schedules and things like that. It's very typical on projects to have somebody in a role like that, so that's what that approval is for. We knew we were going to have some support in that way, and this was a way envisioned the best way to handle it. So just an update on that. New construction, not new construction, new building. With that, I'll turn it over back to Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you, sir. Very good. Before I move on further, I just want to mention 2 points. Before the meeting started tonight, the board did have an executive session back in the conference room there, and we discussed the real estate and property matters. And secondly, Commissioner Bowden is out of town this week, and that's why you don't see her here tonight. Okay. So we want to do number 6, review and approval of the treasurer's report.
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Also, number 7, to do with the numbers, review and approval of the bills and payroll report.
I make a motion to approve the bills and payroll report. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay. Number 8, we now are open to the public, agenda items only, and that'll last for half an hour. 3 minutes is the time allowance. Anybody interested coming up for agenda items? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward. Number 9, Commissioner Dockert.
I make a motion to place the meeting in Sydney.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to place the meeting in Sydney. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. We'll turn the meeting over now to Mr. Madden.
Thank you, President Higgins. We have a public hearing scheduled this evening to consider an amendment to our zoning code. If you've been at these meetings, you've heard this discussed a couple times already. This hearing this evening was advertised twice in the Daily Times, once last week and once the prior week in accordance with the MPC. And this amendment basically amends our definition of family. It establishes a definition of reasonable accommodation and establishes a process to request a reasonable accommodation before our zoning hearing board. And this is really an attempt to address a couple things. One is, it's necessary for us to have a process for someone to request a reasonable accommodation pursuant to the Fair Housing Act and the Americans with Disability Act. So it gets that in place and establishes a procedure for that. It also redefines family in a way that, someone can't come in and operate a basically a residential use that includes more than 4 unrelated people without requesting that reasonable accommodation, so that if someone's going to have a high-intensity use involving disabled folks in one of our neighborhoods, they have to go before our zoning hearing board where we can look at things like parking in the neighborhood and things of that nature to make sure that while it's a use that people have a right to under the federal law, and we certainly don't want to do any discriminating against. We also want to make sure that it's as low impact on the neighborhood as possible. Additionally, the new definition of family will prevent short-term rental uses from popping up in our neighborhoods as a long-term use for a short-term rental. So, with that, Mr. President Higgins, I think it's appropriate for you to call for any public comment on this ordinance.
First of all, I would like to get down the row here for questions by the board. Mr. Tinsley, do you have any questions? No. Mr. Burry?
No, I don't.
Okay. Mr. Prendergast?
No. Okay, Mr. Dougherty?
No questions.
Mr. McGinn?
No questions.
Okay.
And I have-
Another question, Chief, if you were to,
Would anybody in the audience here like to ask any questions or make any comments regarding what Mr. Madden just read? Seeing none? Okay, we'll,
I make a motion to take the items of the night.
second.
we have a motion.
Motion and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Nays, ayes have it. Okay. We'll now move on to number 11A is tabled. Okay, so we'll move to 11B. Let's consider an ordinance to amend the Aston Township zoning ordinance to revise the definition of family and add a definition of reasonable accommodation and empower the zoning hearing board to grant reasonable accommodations for disabled individuals. And that's Commissioner Burry.
Thank you, President Higgins. Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, ordinance number 1037. That's an ordinance in Aston Township, amending the Township of Aston zoning ordinance of 2011 to revise the definition of family and add a definition of reasonable accommodation and empower the zoning hearing board to grant reasonable accommodations for disabled individuals. Whereas federal law requires the local municipalities to provide reasonable accommodations where necessary for disabled individuals to have an equal opportunity to use and enjoy housing within their borders without undue burden upon the municipality. Whereas Aston Township has yet to codify its procedures for granting reasonable accommodations from its zoning, and whereas the Board of Commissioners deems it appropriate, their request for reasonable accommodations from the Aston Township zoning ordinance of 2011 be presented to the Township zoning board. Now therefore be named amendments to the zoning code. Family, one or more individuals living together as a single non-profit housekeeping unit, sharing kitchen and other common facilities and meeting one of the following: a single person, any number of persons related by blood, marriage, or adoption, including not more than 2 other persons, for example, boarders, lodgers, or domestic help. Not more than 4 unrelated individuals. Reasonable accommodation is a change, exception, or reasonable adjustment to a rule, policy, practice, or service that may be necessary for a person with a disability to have equal opportunity to use and enjoy a dwelling, including public and common use places. Powers and duties of the zoning board hearing, section 1254.03 of the Code of Ordinances is hereby amended to add the subsection to read as follows: reasonable accommodations. The board shall have the power to grant reasonable accommodations as defined by this title where requested by or on behalf of a person with a disability. The board shall not approve a reasonable accommodation when to do so would fundamentally alter the programs or create an undue financial or administrative burden on the township. Repeal are all ordinances or resolutions or parts of ordinances and resolutions directly inconsistent with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of inconsistencies only. Effective date. The ordinance shall become effective within 5 days of the adoption. It's enacted and ordained the 17th day of July 2024. Board of Commissioners Michael J. Higgins, attested to by Kelly A. Pippin, Township Secretary, in essence, a form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Berry. All right, we move down to 11C. Excuse me. Yeah, 11C. Consider an ordinance to amend ordinance number 1008, establishing the Aston Township Police Act 44 retirement program to extend maximum time period from 36 months to 48 months. Commissioner Doherty.
Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, ordinance number 1038, an ordinance of Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, amending ordinance number 1088, establishing the Aston Township Police Act 44 retirement program to extend maximum time period from a participant's election to participate in the program to that officer's resignation date from 36 months to 48 months. Whereas on December 28, 2020, Aston Township implemented an Act 44 retirement program for uniformed police personnel via ordinance number 1008, the drop. Whereas when the township implemented the drop, the maximum period for the time the participant entered the drop to that participant's resignation date, the drop period was set at 36 months. Whereas through collective bargaining, the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 27, the township agreed to extend the drop period to 48 months. And whereas in order to implement the expanded drop period, the township must amend ordinance number 1008 to reflect the expanded drop period. Effective date, this ordinance shall be effective immediately upon its enactment by the Aston Township Board of Commissioners, enacted and ordained the 17th day of July 2024. Aston Township Board of Commissioners, Michael J. Higgins, President, attested to by Kelly A. Pippin, in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, we move on now to new business. We're going to table A, and we're going to move to B. Consider a resolution approving the preliminary land development of RIC Municipal Center LLC at 5021 Pennell Road. Commissioner McGinn.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. Most of you will remember that address is related to the previous township building on Pennell Road next to the TD Bank. This is the land development plan for the townhomes and the commercial use in the front. This has gone through county planning, Aston Township Planning Commission, and new construction earlier this month. Our solicitor, Mike Madron, as he does on all legal agreements like this, works diligently. And with that, I'm going to defer and pass it to Mike Madron to walk through this for us.
Thank you, Commissioner McGinn. I prepared an ordinance for your a resolution rather for your consideration this evening that would grant one waiver for this project. And that would be a waiver from section 1236.03G1 of the code, which is in the subdivision land development ordinance. This would permit in excess of 30 dwelling units to exist on a cul-de-sac. The resolution also contains grants approval subject to the following conditions. Applicant shall abide by all applicable laws and regulations of the United States, the Commonwealth, Delaware County, and Aston Township during its construction and use of the property. Except as otherwise approved during final land development, applicant shall construct and install all proposed improvements consistent with and as shown on its plan. Applicant shall materially comply with the terms and recommendations of the professional reviews, those being the engineer's review, the county planning, the local planning, and the new construction committee, with the following clarifications. Using the residential guest parking spaces may back out directly onto the proposed street. The necessity of the loading zone for the commercial building will be subject to determination of the township engineer once they identify a user for that structure. Applicant will pay a fee in lieu of dedicating open space in an amount to be determined by a township engineer. And applicant, just a note that applicant revised its plan since those reviews occurred so that it provides for off-street parking on the commercial structure such that those vehicles do not have to back onto the proposed street. Applicant shall revise its plan to set forth all pipeline easements through the property and tailor its landscaping to avoid any conflict therewith. The declarations, covenants, easements, and restrictions for the project shall contain provisions for maintenance of the roadway, stormwater facilities, trash removal services, and all maintenance of all landscaping at the property. To the extent not already in place and prior to final land development approval, applicant shall take such steps as may be necessary to memorialize cross easements with the property located at 5025 Kennel Road, that's the TD Bank property, in a form satisfactory to the township solicitor, and at locations either shown on the plan or other locations that are satisfactory to the township engineer. The location and configuration of the ingress and egress through 5025 Kennel Road relative to other improvements at the property shall be subject to the review and approval of the township's fire marshal. Prior to the issuance of any certificates of occupancy for the dwelling units constructed at the property, applicant shall trim the trees along the western border of the property to the satisfaction of the township engineer. Final approval of the applicant's plan shall be subject to the township's review and approval of buffering of the perimeter of the property. Applicant should comply with all conditions of this approval, except as any of them may be or may have been modified by subsequent action of this board. And prior to applying for final land development approval, applicant shall accept this resolution on its plan verbatim. And those are conditions that I think, I see the applicant in the crowd, Mr. Akabuchi, have you had a chance to review these conditions?
Yes, we
And are they acceptable to you?
Yes, they are.
Thanks. Be appropriate to proceed with the motion.
Thank you. With that
Explanation, I'll make a motion to approve.
second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from the board? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. By the way, I just want to add that is the preliminary approval that we just did tonight. They'll move on to final approval now. They've got work to do on plans, other things that were during discovery at new construction and planning that they need to do. So we don't have an exact date at this point, but when we do have a date from the developer, we'll pass that on through the normal media to the residents. Okay. All right. Number C is tabled, and number D, consider a resolution to approve the submission of a multimodal transportation fund MTF grant to the PA Department of Community and Economic Development, the DCED, for trial additions on Mount Road. Commissioner McGinn.
I'm sorry, trail of this. Commissioner McGinn.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. I make a motion for Aston Township to request a multimodal transportation fund grant from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for Mount Road trail improvements. If approved, would be resolution number 2024-84. Again, I make this motion for approval.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Now to letter E, consider a motion to approve the township solicitor to advertise changes to amend the Aston Township Stormwater Management Ordinance. Commissioner Tinsley.
I would like to make a motion to approve the township solicitor to advertise changes that would amend the Aston Township Stormwater Management Ordinance in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Letter F, consider a motion to approve the Board of Commissioners to execute their right to exercise the 1-year lease option for the rented space at 1 and 2 New Road, which currently houses the Aston Township Police and the administrative offices. Commissioner Docker.
I make a motion to approve the Board of Commissioners to execute their right to exercise the 1-year lease option for the rented space at 1 and 2 New Road, which currently houses the Aston Township Police and Administrative Offices in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
All in favor, signify
I
by
would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Letter G, consider a motion to approve the additional services
Provided
provided
by Bernardin Architect.
for the new township building not exceeding $197,600. Commissioner McGinn.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. I make a motion to approve the additional services provided by Bernardin Architect for the new township building not to exceed $197,600.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it.
Letter H,
Is consider a motion to appoint Catania Engineering Associates, Inc. as the building and code inspector for Aston Township, and that's Mr. Tinsley.
I make a motion to appoint Catania Engineering Associates, Inc. as the building and code inspector for Aston Township.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on that? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
nays,
Let's have that. New business 12I, consider a motion to approve the payment of Pro Tree Services in the amount of $34,478.30 for trees removed on Pennell Road. That's Commissioner Pendergast again.
I make a motion to approve the payment to Pro Tree Services in the amount of $34,478.30 for trees removed from Pound Road, in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Ayes have it.
Item J,
Consider a motion to approve the refund of $60 to Mark D. Giovanni for a camp registration that was not used. Commissioner Doherty.
I make a motion to approve the refund of $60 to Mark D. Giovanni for a camp registration that was not used in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. And we move on to K. Consider a motion to approve the stipulation to settle for the tax assessment appeal between Aston Township, Penducco School Board, and Delaware County for the property situated at 0 Dutton Mill Road. That is Commissioner Tinsley.
I make a motion to approve the stipulation to settle for the tax assessment appeal between Aston Township, Penducco School Board, and Delaware County for the property situated at 0 Dutton Mill Road.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Nays? Ayes have it. I don't know how we get here. All right. Escrow releases, I assume that's Commissioner McGinn?
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. We have two this evening. First, I make a motion to approve a payment of $3,044 for engineering fees to be paid to Pannoni Associates for the month of July 2024.
second. We have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it.
And I have one more. Make a motion for the approval of fees to be paid in the amount of $1,492.25 for engineering fees to Cirilli Associates, Inc. for the month of July 2024.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions?
All in favor,
Say aye. Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it.
Okay. So now we move on to item 14, open to the public. Any items?
Let me guess, you today.
So she has 3 topics, so she gets 9 minutes.
Okay, I'll start with Community Day. I'm Mary Ann Bowman, 3235 Berlin Circle. Because this is it, guys. This is the last time I can announce it because we've moved Community Day up to September 14th. And our meeting for September will be after Community Day. So, bear with me. The Aston Business Association will host their annual Community Day on Saturday, September 14th, from 10:30 to 2:30. The rain date of Saturday is September 21st. Community Day will begin with a parade from Newman University, 1 Newman Drive, starting at 9 a.m. The parade will proceed along Concord Road to the Aston Community Center, and the parade will feature local community groups, organizations, as well as musical entertainment and the Sun Valley High School Band. Inside the Community Center, the annual Business Expo will be held for all Aston businesses and organizations interested in displaying their products and services. Other Community Day festivities will be held outside where there will be rides by Betty's Fun Center, games, crafts for children, pumpkin painting, rock painting, the duck pond, and so much more. Maybe pony rides and contests for everyone to enjoy. Enjoy a hot dog, hamburger, and drink. Taste samples are at our food courts. What happened here? Kids ages 0 to 12 can participate in the parade by decorating their bikes, wagons, strollers, and anything with wheels, and riding in the parade route for all to see. And that goes for wheelchairs too. We have a couple kids that like to ride in the parade with wheelchairs. This year, the title is going to be Your Favorite Sports Team. Okay. Prizes will be awarded for the best decorations. There will be a rodeo contest prior to the bike parade sponsored by the Newman University Nursing. Check the registration form for your contest rules, which can be found on the Township website. Registration forms will need to be filled out so your kids can join in the fun. For more information, contact Kathy Gutman at gutman122@verizon.net. Wristbands. Wristbands can be purchased in advance for a donation of $4 each at the Community Center, starting August 12th, and sold until Friday, September 14th. Wristbands purchased the day of the event will be $5. Proof of Aston residency is needed at the time of purchase. Information about Community Day can be found on the Aston Township website. Am I correct about that, Kelly?
Oh, I just started working today, so it'll be out tomorrow.
Okay. Is it still www.astontownship.net? Okay. It will also be on the Community Center bulletin board, the ABA website, Newman University website, Pendaco TV, and web, and Aston Police web. It also can be found on You Know You Are From Aston, Aston PA 19014. Okay. It'll be on Facebook. I'll have it on Facebook. And you can also post it on your own Facebook page. And anyone interested in participating in Community Day, the Community Day Parade, or volunteering services for Community Day, please contact myself, Mary Ann Bowen, 610-494-2337, or Mimi Bull, M-I-M-I Bull, at Comcast.net. Braid Nancy Bowden, 610-494-5490, or N. Bowden at Comcast.net. Business Expo Judith Stenitis at judith.stenitis, STNAITIS, @gmail.com. So that's for Community Day. Then the Aston Business Association is also having a golf outing, and that's going to be held on September the 30th. I have information here if anyone needs it. It will be at Rock Manor Golf Club, and there's prizes, and I have the schedule. So if you need information, you can also find this on the web ADA website will be on our township website or no? Okay. Then we have the Aston Business Expo, an Aston Community Day event. And that's at the McGinn Community Center. Celebrate entrepreneurship, innovation, and community collaboration at the annual Business Expo. September 13th, set up and business to business only networking event from 5 to 8. You can set up in the community center. Then on the 14th, the same day as Community Day, will be the expo inside the gym. Register by August 30th. $50 indoor table, $25 non-profit table, and you can contact info@astonva.com. Outdoor vendors must contact Mary Ann Bullen at Mimi Bull. She does not have that right. Mimi Bull at Comcast.net. That's all I have. Thank you. Pardon me?
2 minutes, 59 seconds, thank you.
Well, he took some of my marks. I was gonna-
Is the Business Expo the one where the senior citizens are going to see all the scratch pads?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to.
Oh, I'm sorry, wait.
Due to the new building, the construction at the community center, the new township building, I've gotten permission from Penduckley School District to use their shuttle buses. So it would be to your advantage to pick up a bus at 4 different locations, and I'll have them out for people. But the parking is going to be unbelievable. So it's better for you to take the bus or walk.
Down to 1 minute, right?
This is Pat.
So Kathy Papp, 2931 Concord Road, Aston. I just have 2 quick questions, just clarifying. So for I and for K, so just curious, how many trees was it that we paid $34,000 for? Removal?
whole parcel, it was near parties.
So it wasn't because of the down trees, it's to clean out some of the,
So
okay.
it didn't fall.
So it was a whole partial, okay, thanks. The other question was with K is, can somebody elaborate a little bit on that?
Can you bring the microphone down, please, a little bit?
Talking about my height again, really?
I want to hear everything you have to say.
I just wanted somebody to elaborate a little bit more on K about the stipulation to settle for the tax assessment appeal between Aston Township and Douglas School Board and the Delaware County for the property stipulated at $0 mil.
I'm going to refer your question to Mr. Madden.
I'm sure you are, and I don't have the stipulation memorized, so I'm hoping it's in the, is the stipulation in there?
No, that's why I was curious what it was.
Yeah, I know it's a reduction that was recommended by the school district based on their appraisals, although I don't have the precise amount here.
So they're asking for a reduction even though I just got my tax bill? Okay.
Maybe I do have it.
It's just do that piece, that parcel.
As soon as the email comes through.
If we can't come up with it tonight, we can. Kelly has it, I guess.
Mike, does it make sense to give like a 30-second summary in terms of explaining who takes the lead on tax disputes?
Yeah, so we generally defer to the school district because they have the most at stake. The county does as well. So, typically what happens is the school district engages an appraiser. Occasionally they try to get us to help them pay for that appraisal, but it's not really a proportionate savings, so I don't think we usually say yes, but nonetheless, and they'll go by that appraisal to determine whether an appeal is worth pursuing to the courts or whether it should be resolved by way of a settlement. This is a property that was
I was thinking it was part of a field, but I wasn't sure. So, like I said, I was just really curious.
Yeah, parcel of ground. Actually, this is an appeal by the school district. This is actually yeah, it's actually an increase. This was assessed by the board at just over $2 million. Via this appeal, the 2021 number will increase to $2,336,250. 2022 would be $2,340,625, and then based on the reduction in the common level ratio for 2023, it drops down to $2,052,960. So it's actually a little bit extra.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Is anybody else?
Bob Clemens, 812 Lamppost Lane, Aston, PA. I'm your monthly nag on the PICO issues, although I missed you last month. So good to see you all again. I was a couple questions. One, if there's any update on the ongoing saga of stuff that still isn't done by PICO on the project that they've been doing since last October or November.
So we've been in communication, and the actual remediation of the property started yesterday at certain locations within the construction area, and they expect to have it done by July 31st.
You've been out there working the last couple of days, so
Well, I have questions because I continue to ask and I try to stay on top of it. One, it's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, you were kind enough to keep me up to date, and again, I thank you, is that Lehigh Valley is ascertaining that all the grass work is complete.
That's what they said to me yesterday, yes.
And your guys' position, since you interact with them pretty frequently, is the grass work complete?
So we're going to take a look at the work as soon as they're done their body at the end of July, then we'll get back to them. I have a contact person to reach out to them daily. As soon as I get updates, I will provide it to you. I did forward you an email this afternoon, I believe, so you will stay on top of it.
And likewise, Lehigh said that they addressed all the spills that they were responsible for, which they never corrected the spills.
So what they're going to do is they're going to actually cover up those spills. So it's kind of like they're going to put like another coating of, I would say a tar coating of some sort on those stands, on those spills that are just too deep into the ground for them to do anything about. So hopefully we'll all reach a satisfaction level that will make everybody happy.
Okay, because I say that because that's kind of contrary to what they communicated to you in the email you sent me today. They pretty well absolved that they've done all they're going to do. At least that was my interpretation of it.
For removal of the stains. But
Yes.
What they're going to do, what they told us, and Fred, you were there when they told us that, they said they were going to cover them up with something.
yeah, we said they were going to cover it. I made sure I brought it up. Too.
Okay.
I knew that was one of your big things.
And I would also profess, okay, and I share with you guys that the grass work's not complete.
No, it's not.
All right. I had talked to Fred via email, and I asked him, is it possible to put a PowerPoint up to share visually, okay, what the issues are that continue to exist on multiple streets throughout their entire project? Which Fred said, no, you really don't need to, and I respect Fred saying I not need to do that. But when I saw Bill's email today saying that Lehigh is saying that the grass is complete, I again beg to differ. I do want to say thank you, Kelly, because you were kind enough to get them to come back out a second time where it washed out between mine and my neighbors. I want to thank you. But the work that they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. They either don't know what grass seed is, or they got grass seed that doesn't germinate, but it just grows weeds, or either that or the soil's contaminated.
This is not a good time of year to plant grass.
They planted grass in February. They've been planting grass. This is like the third time that they planted grass. It's not growing. And just to share with you, I would have given you more, except Bill just shared with me today. I would have gotten you more. But here's just 3 pictures. And this is outside my front door, okay, of the issues that continue to exist. And here we are. This project started back in end of October, November last year. And it continues to move forward.
Well, like I said, we had a meeting with her yesterday, Bill, me and Bill had him on Zoom. They more than said they're gonna do everything, honestly. I'm sure you got the same feedback.
So again, I think there's enough roads.
Just across the street from you?
That's right next to me. The first one's across the street.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. You know, and the other one's kind of right next to me, and it's shared between me and my neighbor. And that's the only ones I had time when I got home from work to do real quick, just to be able to
I've
share.
done most of the streets, and your street's probably the worst, that grass.
That exists almost by every new green box that they put in, almost every
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and the picture of that pothole, that's on lamppost. That's not a driveway. That's on lamppost. And the thing's got to be about yay deep now that you whack every time you drive down it. Or, unfortunately, you're also going over the what do you call it, Tuscany, which is that's another road map. But I know that's earlier on in the process. So.
Well, like I said, we've been pushing it, and they told us by the end of the month it would be done. Everything would be done, so. We check the mail.
You got it. We shall see. So, and then I guess at some point my question to the board will be if they don't fulfill what they've promised now multiple times, what would the next steps be? Is there someone in the county?
Mike, I'll answer that.
Is there somebody in the county that can progress this up to the PUC or something? Because they're still doing what they want, so.
I think it's gonna have to be us interacting with the legislator probably to try and get additional movement and interacting with PICO, of course. You know, I mean, they are subcontractors with PICO. So that's what we'll do. I guess at some point when they complete their work, Joe and I are gonna have to take a look and see if they've lived up to the standards of our work. And if they haven't, then, we're gonna have to take some action. But until they complete it, it's a little premature for us to get involved with this. Start spending capital dollars.
Again, I thank everybody, especially Fred and Bill and Kelly, for the efforts that have been put in so far. I'm going to continue to press it because there's no reason that they're not fixing it. You know, they're doing work today as we speak over in, what do you call it? Yep, well, they were doing work on Amble, but they're doing this elsewhere, other communities.
Yeah, well, did you
So-
see how many guys are out there today?
No,
Probably
unfortunately, I was working.
There was 4 or
today.
5 trucks out there.
Good.
So I guess we're pushing enough on this. They better get it done.
Awesome. Thank you again, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Anybody else that
Would like to come up and speak? Sure.
Good evening. Anthony Capuano, 2335 Weir Road.
Hey,
Good. So the township has ordinance for everything here. I stopped at the township last week or 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't remember, but there's the pipe running through my yard. So the soil on top of that pipe is all burnt because the pipe is only 3.5 inches, has dirt on it. So is that the code? What's code for that pipe that goes through that yard?
Well, the first question is it a storm drain? Or is it
You know
a...
the problems that we've been having, right, Mr. Higgins?
Oh, they sure do.
Okay, so, I mean, what's gonna be done? Is anything gonna be done? Mark, John lived next door 50 years, nothing's got done. Pat Meese lived there 50 years, no, nothing's got done. You got grant money, is that still available? How much was the grant money for that project that was supposed to be done? Where's that grant money?
Let me, do I defer to,
Yeah, I have to figure out whose pipe it is, and that's where we start.
I mean, it's in my property, so is it my pipe? I mean.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Is it sewer?
I know there's a sanitary sewer that goes through there, so that would
What-
be deeper. than-
What I'm trying to find out is if they're gonna do anything, should I just wait? Am I wasting time?
Did anybody just do any recent work there?
I have water, I took pictures and I have anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of water that runs through my yard.
Right.
I have ruts in my yard.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't own, I guess who owns the pipe? Like, what if I wanna plant something or if I wanna put an in-ground pool?
Well, all right,
What's gonna happen?
Let me take a look at it. First thing that determine if pipe is what it is. I'm gonna start there. So
So nobody knows whose pipe it is, it's been there 50 years?
I'm not sitting here, we don't, but we need to.
So there's a sewer pipe that runs and then a water
But
pipe.
it would be deeper. That's not a front porch, it's deeper.
Right, so what I'm asking is, if you're building a new development, there's a code for how deep that pipe should be, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so 50 years of erosion, there was a township person that went and took pictures of the pipe in there, and that person's no longer with the township. But that pipe was, I was told from him, is rotted. So, I mean,
Mr.
I
Capuano.
don't know, I mean, without getting out to take a look at it, I gotta go out there.
Mr. Viscuso.
He has to be pulled up
I
on
gotta
this.
see it, I've got maps and everything else, but I can't.
Yeah, you don't have that, you don't have the computer here to do any of that tonight.
I'm not asking tonight, Mr.
No,
Evans.
no,
I'm
that's not
talking
what I
about,
mean.
this has
He
been
can't-
years.
No, what I'm trying to say, he can't answer the question tonight because he'd have to pull up the schematic that's, and one line that shows, we can see where every pipe is in the town. I don't know about the
Okay,
sanitary.
well, there's 3 inches of dirt on top of that pipe.
No, we understand, but he needs to be able to look into it.
That's just some pretty good survey information on your property from the survey.
Right, well, I mean,
But I don't have it here tonight.
I understand that. I'm just saying, I'm trying, like, these people have been fighting this for 50 years. I mean, I had to get signatures for the neighbors across the street because you guys were all supposed to be doing something, and then, you know, everybody had to get these signatures, and now there's nothing else. It's, you know what, the ball stopped. There's nothing that's gonna take any,
We took bids on that project, they came in, it was way over budget. When we do have a grant to do something in the intersection, we are going to do something. We're
so how much grant money do they have for that project, you know?
Approximately $360,000. We were going to do something, we just haven't gotten to the design process yet.
So it's a long process, or?
No, the grants have timelines attached to them, so we have to execute, you know.
So then for my yard, that's all burnt, 25 feet of it. What happens for my yard? I sent pictures. There's pictures of that. So, I mean, if you need more, you're more than welcome
Who
to
has
stop
the
at my
pictures?
house.
Who has the pictures, sir?
I have them on my phone. I brought them up to the township.
There has been
So,
work done over there.
excuse me?
There has been work done over there. You know
I
that.
understand that. So what I'm asking is my yard is all burnt.
Yeah, I understand.
And I understand with the heat, and I understand with all that.
Well,
Okay.
Joe, I have to take a look.
Give me your address again, just give me the exact, I mean, I have your.
It's 2335 Weir Road.
Got it.
You're more than welcome to go in, take a look at the pipe, maybe have somebody take pictures, which there were pictures taken. I seen the gentleman take pictures. No one could find it. So,
When I'm just curious, usually when, Joe, maybe you help me on that, or Michael, if you have a pipe going through your yard, then there should be an easement mentioned in the deed?
There is.
There is.
So is there a depth on that pipe?
There's not, no. There should be a mention in the deed that there's an easement on your property, okay, and I get, it would say what it was with, but as far as the distance below the ground, that's, you're not gonna find that, I don't believe, you know. So Mr. Vasuno's gotta.
So for new, for something that's a new project, there's qualified codes that you have to meet by. But that things that have been years and years ago, there is no code. Is that what you're saying?
No. Are you the first owner in the house?
No, I'm the second.
You're the second, so.
As far as I know.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, we're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't have to be there. You wanna go, you're more than welcome. I mean, but
We got something to do in your house, I don't believe, anyway, so, you know, just, send, somebody out that's familiar with that kind of thing, and then we'll get back.
so like
to
if
you.
that pipe is rotted, like what has to be happened with that? I mean, what, this has been,
There's
I don't know.
different things that can be done. It could be replaced, they can put a sleeve in there.
so you're gonna make something smaller, which should be bigger.
The lining just, it goes to the size of the pipe.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will look into it, sir.
might want to check at the media courthouse. They might have records of the pipes that run under the property.
Well, they got a pipe, it's a sewer pipe, they don't know where water.
Yeah, they have records going back to the 1800s.
Anyway, Kendrick Khan, 243 West Knowlton Road. Missed y'all last month. Looking forward to Community Day. I wanted to know if parade's starting at 1 Newman Drive? 1 Newman Drive?
Oh, yeah, 1 Newman Drive.
If the people who show up at 0 Newman Drive, are they going to be able to see? It starts at 1. Just kidding. Also, the Aston None of Your Business Society is not telling anybody what's going on. The Aston Business Society is having events. The None of Your Business Society is not letting you know anything. But really, I didn't come just for comedy patter. I wanted to just say 2 words, which was dog park and skedaddle, and that was it. And I appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Did you want to be in the parade?
I don't think that I would be a pretty good participant. My colleague though wants to be a doctor.
Do we have anybody else that has something they'd like to offer? Okay, seeing that,
We'll move on to other business. Commissioner Tinsley.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, I'll be quick, all right? So I just have 2 quick things. One is I want to say a thank you for Public Works. One, they did multiple things, multiple work items in my development and my ward this current month, so I just wanted to acknowledge them. I even have many friends who are on Public Works Department, so I just wanted to call it out publicly for a thank you. And then without a script too, I have another one that's just want to say I'm grateful for a community we live in. It's been a hard month for some families the past 4 weeks, and just to have the Aston community come together just for weeks, and just to be there for the Ellis family for the past 4 weeks, I've been very grateful to see that in our community, and just wanted to acknowledge about we do live in a really good community that when push comes to shove, we are there for each other.
Mr. Berry.
I just want to congratulate the champions Giants and have a great summer.
Commissioner Prendergast.
Again, I just want to congratulate the Giants, and everybody, it's hot out there, so be careful and keep yourself hydrated. Just be careful.
First, congratulations to the Giants, and then I want to thank everyone for coming out to our July 4th fireworks and the inaugural concert at our new amphitheater. I thought it went great.
Again, agree with all the comments, and thank you for everybody that was a part of making the fireworks happen and the concert happen. A lot of people did a lot of work to put that together. So thank you to everybody again that makes Aston a great place to live.
thank you. System Manager Pippin?
Congratulations to the Giants, and then in lieu of Mrs. Boone not being here, we're having another concert at the amphitheater on August 1st. There'll be food trucks and whatnot there.
Be out there on Facebook and everything.
Yeah, it's up on Facebook, on our page, on Parks and Rec, and on the website.
Taylor Swift, right?
Mr. DeFeo?
Yeah, I'd just like to announce that Aston Township National Night Out, sponsored by the Aston Police Department, the Aston Fire Department, the Aston Police Relief Association, and Aston Township will be held Tuesday, August 6th, 2024, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New location this year, Newman University, 501 Convent Road, Aston, behind the Miranda Center. So that's a new location. As you recall, the last couple of years, we had a community center, but this year, the Police Relief Association will be sponsoring this event. It's a free event, and there'll be fire trucks, and there'll be police cars, and food and things of that nature. So that will be Tuesday, August 6th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our professionals, Mr. Viscuso.
Joe, if Taylor Swift comes up there and they said that Jaws would need a bigger boat, it'd be a bigger interview. I did want to say that the road program will be taken, since the board doesn't meet in August, the road program is, the contracts are now with PennDOT. Should get approval on that, and hopefully we can get started last week of July, first week of August, so the residents should be aware that some of the roads will be getting paid at that time.
Okay, Mr. Madden?
Nothing to add.
Okay, nothing, okay. You're right.
I guess I should say, thank you to Joe, this is the integration.
Okay. I thought we were gonna be out of here by quarter up, I guess not. So also congratulations to the Aston Valley Baseball Giants. And I want to just remind everybody, echo others, stay cool out there,
be hydrated, and if you have a problem at, say, home with your air conditioner, or you're just going by, you're out for a walk and you're too hot, you go by the community center, walk in, sit down, just it's cool in there, and just
relax if you need to stop by. So it's available for
especially senior citizens. All right, with that, need a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight.